Oh man, what did you guys think was gonna happen, man? You thought Kell Brook was gonna go in the ring and totally just dismantle Triple G. You thought his jab was gonna be stiff enough to break his nose. Did you think his hooks and his uppercuts was gonna be able to push Triple G back? Because I mean, he was just so buff during that presser, man, and so buff when they was on that on the weight on the weight scale, and just so buff and so tough, man. I mean, what you guys really think was gonna happen? I told you guys in the last video that Triple G was gonna walk this guy down. I mean, come on, man. It's a waste of everybody's time that loves boxing. It's a waste of everybody's time that's a writer for the sport of boxing. A waste of everybody's time that's in other forms of media dealing with boxing. Waste of everybody's time that's devoted to the sport, that avidly watches this sport, to sit here and watch a fight that was, I mean, well put together, in order to ensure that this guy remains the champ. Okay? Now, I know the haters, the race baiters, the pillagers are all ready to come out. And I know that they're ready to bring destruction and chaos my way for the comments that I'm about to get ready and make about Triple G. But the bottom line is this. Nothing that he got in there tonight was unexpected. We all expected that to take place. Those of us that know boxing, that watch this stuff, that keep up with it, that's an avid follower, that's devoted to the sport. We all knew that Kell Brook was going to get walked down. Yeah, he looked good up there, during that presser. He looked good. His body was phenomenal. Dude was in shape. But that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything in the sport of boxing, man. You can be the biggest, buffest guy all you want to. But if you're not able to keep a guy from pressing you, from coming forward, even if you land in punches, and I knew this guy was going to get put out of there. I thought it would have been done a little later, but it happened a little earlier, So, I mean, what were we expecting? What were you guys expecting, shall I say? Because I already told you he was going to walk this guy down. It's common sense. It's common sense. This is what he does. Kell Brook doesn't have his power. His power doesn't translate into the middleweight division. It doesn't. It just doesn't work like that. You don't put that many pounds on in that short amount of time and then get in the ring and think that, okay, I've gained this much weight. I feel a little stronger now. I feel like I can do this. And then, going to another weight division and be able to start backing these guys up. Guys are going to back down from you. Like, they've taken punches. If you're able to get in the ring, go up 2 weight classes, what do you think these guys are doing when they're sparring guys? They're going to get a guy that's at least 20 pounds heavier than them when they sparring. So you moving up in weight does nothing. It does nothing for you. It does nothing for you. He already didn't have power like that to begin with, and then to move up in weight and be all ripped and all of that stuff and thinking that it was going to translate into the middleweight division and he was just going to be that much more stronger is a joke. It's a waste of time. This guy was given the belt from the get-go. They already, inserted a clause to ensure that the WBA belt was not going to be on the line. So even if Kell Brook would have pulled out a miracle tonight, it wouldn't have mattered. It's an exhibition fight. We watching Rocky versus Apollo Creed, #1. Exhibition fight. Didn't even matter. What's the point of this fight? Oh, to try to give Triple G a little bit more credibility. He has a name on his resume that people recognize. Oh, now he has a name. But before that, Kell Brook was nobody to them. They didn't even want to put Kell Brook in the top 5 pound for pound. Didn't even want to put Kell Brook there. But all of a sudden, he's a name now. You know, this is the double standards that I'm talking about, that everybody's talking about when it comes down to this protected guy named Triple G. No, there he is. You know, he's hating on this guy because he's white. If he was black, this guy would be happy. It's not the point. We're not talking about race. We're talking about boxing. We're talking about the standards in boxing. We've seen guys go in there and do all of this stuff Triple G is doing and didn't receive the credibility. We watched a lot of guys in this sport go out like that, didn't receive the credibility. This guy still, yet, in my honest opinion, man, still has not gained any credibility for this fight. It happened just the way everybody knew it was going to happen. Why would you fight this guy? What was the purpose of it? Money fight? I mean, I can't give you any other options because it just doesn't make any sense. You give this guy the belt, you take it from Cotto, you know, and then you want to try to sanction a fight between Triple G and Canelo. You know, you knew Canelo wasn't going to fight. So guess what? This guy maintains the belt. But ask yourself this question. Why did Canelo decline that belt? Why did he really decline that belt? Is it that he's afraid of Triple G? No. It's common sense. It's all in making money. It's all in constantly boosting this guy in order to build this guy's star to keep the sport in the limelight. Canelo had to take some step aside money, man, in order for this dude to keep this belt, and so these two can be boosted because they both protected fighters. Let's just be realistic. Both of them are protected, you know, to ensure that their names keep being attached to one another over the next couple of years or so. We probably won't see this fight next year either, you know. Come on, man. We won't see the fight next year either. You already know it's not going to happen unless there's absolutely no other option for either fighter. Now, where does Triple G go from here? You know, you get this guy step aside money, and then you guys start trash talking each other in the media, and you building up each other because both of their names are now attached to one another. So when he fights this bum, when Canelo fights this bum he's about to fight, come on, this is another bum, tomato can. You know, granted, his resume is a little better than Triple G's, but I mean, come on, man. You know, these guys are doing what they got to do to build a household name, to keep their status above the rest, you know, in order to make this money. And it's really declining the sport. It really is. Because it's no longer about who is the undisputed champion anymore. It's not. It's not about that anymore. Because if it was really about who is the undisputed champion in all of the sport and all of boxing, then that's what we would be talking about. You know? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about one or two guys in the sport, you know, and you got a fan base of fanboys on this side and a fan base of fanboys on that side. And you got guys that you know, want to race bait and get you into an argument about, you know, oh, well, you know, you're mad about us having a white champion, and if he was black, it would be this and it would be that. This is what we're sitting here talking about. We're not talking about who's undisputed in all of boxing. From the lightweights all the way up to the heavyweights, this guy should be considered that guy that nobody in boxing can touch, no matter what. The fans know it. The media know it. Everybody in the sport knows it. Now, I'm going over my limit today, way over, because I'm just tired of it, man. I'm frustrated with the stupidity. All of the hypocrisy, all of the drama that surrounds this guy. How he came into grabbing the belt. How they made sure that Kell Brook stepped into the ring. No opposition is met, for Triple G. Kell Brook gets in the ring and does exactly what we knew he was going to do. It's just becoming it's one of the biggest sideshows in any sport. Boxing is becoming a sideshow now. Get the tents out. Get the acrobatics going. Get the fire blowers out here. Let's see a lion jump through a burning hoop. Let's see guys jumping off of a trampoline and jumping 50 feet in the air or something and coming down, landing perfectly. This is what boxing is turning into, man. It's a sideshow. It's a joke. We all can see what's happening, man. And at any cost now, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's nothing wrong with having a champion that represents you, that represents your culture, that represents who you are, how you feel, that can represent your even on a social status level. There's nothing wrong with having a champ, but it's something wrong with not wanting to earn it the proper way. The credibility that goes along with that, putting in of work, the blood, sweat, and tears that go into becoming an undisputed pound for pound acknowledged champion. There's something wrong when you haven't done that or you don't want to take the steps to do that. It's something wrong. And this is what's going on with this stuff, man. And rather than for fanboys to admit it, they would rather just keep running along and running along, with, people are hating on this guy because he's white. No, we've seen a lot of guys do what Triple G is doing and didn't get the accolades that he's getting, that he's receiving. We've seen this before, And the thing of it is that his level of competition isn't great. And this is what people are really pissed off about. Basically, I'm going to say what my brother said today, man. Basically, what you're doing to me is, I know you guys remember this, man, but you're giving me a PlayStation controller or Xbox controller that's not plugged in. You over here having a mighty good time on your controller. You playing the game for real. I'm not in the game at all. I'm not even being acknowledged. And this is what's going on in this sport. Don't sell me this BS that something is what we all know it's not. The PlayStation controller is not plugged in. Anyway, man, you guys want to say congratulations to Triple G behind what happened today. Go right ahead, but I can't congratulate that because I already knew what it was gonna be. Had he gotten beat, yeah, I would have laughed like hell, but it still wouldn't have mattered because Kell Brook wouldn't have had the damn belt. He wouldn't have had a belt to go along with it. The supreme status would not have gone with him because if he would have won, then we would have had to say, well, Kell Brook is the top guy. Right now in the sport, he just elevated his status. He beat Triple G, a guy that everybody holds in high regard. So he beat Triple G. So we're just going to go ahead and put on a fight between him and Floyd. That's what everybody would have said next. Anyway, man, I'm out. Holla at me.